I followed you for a long time though. I've always wanted to meet you.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, man. I followed you
I think
for
I've been
years.
following you. How long have I been following you?
This is awesome. This
It's
mutual
like a dating
admiration
service
society.
for toy makers.
I know. Well, because you know what's weird about,
Hey
especially
man,
like with
seen
all
you
the.
around.
Just keep your dick in your pants, okay?
No promises.
Hey everybody, it's Dove, and welcome to DKE Toys TV with our co-host Janky and Barbarian Rage. And our guest this week is Reis O'Brien.
Oh, wow. Wow, what a welcome.
Yeah, the sound effects that Janky edits in makes it more exciting than it actually
Okay,
is.
This is real live. This is
It's really nice.
that is practical sound effects.
He used to have to do it on his cell phone, which was like, holding it into, it was really awkward holding on his phone.
Well, I'd have to go find the app. So like Dove would say the thing that deserves the air horn, and then 3 minutes later I'm like blah blah blah. So
You're like, dude, we're past that.
Yeah.
You're so late with the air horn.
Now
Well,
I have this.
I appreciate the welcome and thanks for having me on, guys. I kind of feel like the nerd kid at the cool kid table. I got to be honest with you. Like,
I was gonna say the same thing.
I find that hard to believe. But for the people watching who don't know who you are, could you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
hi, my name's Reis O'Brien. I am I guess you'd say I'm a professional in the toy industry. I used to work. I spent 11 years at a small kind of unknown company called Funko. And probably never heard of it.
It's real underground.
Yeah, it's real underground, like real cutting edge shit there. But yeah, so I spent like 11 years there. And I spent that whole time kind of with one foot in both worlds, or trying to have one foot in both worlds. So like half of me was like this corporate evil guy making cheap vinyl that everyone hates in the underground world, and then me also trying to like learn how to pour resin and make stuff by hand as well. And so that ended, the Funko part ended last year, about a year ago almost to the day. And I spent a year soul searching, or what they call a non-compete, so I couldn't work for a while.
Forced Rumspringa. Yeah, that was...
Did your non-compete not allow you to work in toys at all?
It was kind of loosey goosey. I couldn't basically go like right to a competitor and like take my ideas and things like that and like directly compete. But what they consider competition is it's the Kid Robots and the Super Sevens of the world, that are also in retail, mass retail, and things like that. But I was free to kind of like do my own side stuff, and so I did, to kind of like keep my sanity.
But you also ran BIM Toy concurrently while there as well, and you made the Tiny Ghost. So
correct.
How did they feel about that?
That's a fun story. So I started.
Do tell.
Yeah, I started Tiny Ghost back in 2016, and it was mostly just like kind of an experiment. Like when you have a day job where you're just kind of like sitting there and you're making your umpteenth version of Batman, and listening to licensors kind of go, well, that ear shouldn't be as pointy and stuff. You need to come home and kind of like do something to like blow the cobwebs out and kind of be kind of crazy. So I started working on Tiny Ghost. I just wanted a really simple character, and I started it in 2016, and it was just going to be like really, because I can't sculpt. I am a horrible sculptor. So it was going to be just this shitty little lump of a thing, but I ended up teaming up with the guys at Bottleneck Gallery, and we ended up making it a vinyl. And I did that shit for years under the radar, honestly, and was like kind of getting away with murder for a little while there. And then in 2019, they kind of got wise of how how big it was getting, and that kind of, because I was like this one company like flew me to Singapore for this festival, like or like a show there, and I was like a guest, and it was like all over social media and stuff, and they were like,
Funko using my grandma died. I'm not going to be into work this week.
They were like, they were like, wait, isn't that the guy that sits in the cubicle in the corner? Like why isn't he doing that shit for us? So yeah, it turned into a conversation that I had with the legal department, and I came out on top. They were very fair about it. Like, don't get me wrong, like there's a lot I could say about my old boss, but he was very fair sometimes. And he was like, you know what, Reis, I get it, man. Just do your thing, but don't go into mass retail, don't go into licensing, and we're good. So make your little ghosts and do different pad prints on them or whatever you want to do, and we're good. So I did that for a while. And then
it's always a subtle way to chip away at your achievements is by saying, oh, your little ghost thing, your little,
your little,
your little thing,
yeah,
your little podcast,
yeah,
or whatever, your little toy, yeah.
Go have your fun with your little toys in your sandbox. And I went, okay, boss, I'll do that.
I will
take you down a peg, yeah.
So I kept that going for a while, and then just like all of us, the pandemic was brutal to a lot of like underground toy designers, especially if we were trying to get something made in a factory overseas and get it shipped. It was brutal, but I kept it alive. And then, like, if I can be perfectly honest, I started to smell that the end was near. And I started going, well, like, fuck it, let's poke the bear a little bit. So I went from like, I didn't go into licensing, but I certainly went into parody of pop culture characters, and I'm kind of doing it to this day. But I saw where the puck was going, and I went, all right, I'm not going to be here much longer. I don't think any of us are going to be here much longer. So I wanted to kind of liven that up a bit,
Is your old boss still there too, or they're all gone too?
No, isn't that ironic? The guy that fired me got fired, but yeah, honestly, like, I just don't even recognize that company anymore. Like, it has changed drastically, and even though I was, pretty pissed off and heartbroken a year ago, I realized over that time when I saw those waves of layoffs, and I saw incredibly talented, passionate people unceremoniously like escorted out by security for no reason. I just kind of realized I dodged a bullet a little bit, and I think I was one of the first people they got rid of, and I have my theories on why, but it's just my opinion. But
was it just cost cutting?
Well, that's what they say, but it's cost cutting's one thing, but I don't know. I have to kind of be careful how I say it, but I felt like the treatment was pretty brutal and heartless, in my personal opinion. From a legal standpoint, this is my personal opinion. And I felt it was a really heartbreaking situation, and because myself and a couple other guys were known as the guy, the creatives that would go pick a fight, they were like, well, let's get these dudes out of here first. And that's my theory, honestly. Because we did pick fights a lot.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So
I'm serious. Yeah.
So back to the tiny ghost. Can you grab one there? Can you show?
Yeah, look. So this is what they've now turned into.
Oh, great.
Previously, they were. I don't know if I have any of the old ones out here.
Do you have just a plain ghost there?
Oh,
they always go so
look at my wife,
fast.
man.
I know.
This is what it used to look like. This is him in vinyl.
Now
so cool.
And then we went this direction, and this is him in resin, because I wanted to detail him up, and I wanted to liven him up and give him some charm, because this never looked like it did in my head, right? So now, and this is what I mean by poking the bear. This is adolescent metahuman Kung Fu tortoise. And this is remain poofed, which has nothing to do with any licensed product.
Right.
Yeah. This is Major Tom. He's going to be our upcoming release.
I saw that on your Instagram. And I was like, I have to get one of these. It's so good.
Thanks, man.
You know what I find like the most funny about this conversation is how many times you would see me live at a show and then would later just to fuck with me would walk past the booth and say, "See you later when you get sued. Bye." There's always some like snide comment about like, "How do you motherfuckers get away with this shit?" You know, and then
well, I mean, Dub, you're no stranger to poking the bear. The last time you and I saw each other in person was at Star Wars Celebration, where you were like, they had like wanted posters with your face on it.
When
like,
we learned about the blacklist, yeah.
they did not.
You were
I
persona
saw
non
one.
grata.
Dub was
That-
in costume.
excuse me, that is
he had a
not
full
what-
Chewbacca costume.
That is
He's
not
walking
what
around
happened.
in like Sucklord's like
You are
Boba Fett
taking
helmet.
out of context what I told you. What I told you was that I applied for a booth and they went to our website and they saw what was on our site and they declined to sell us a booth.
That is more accurate. Yes.
I like the
And-
Chewbacca story better.
And I was able to partner with another retailer.
You
And
did.
it did not say DKE Toys, and then I could just, and they're very specific about their rules. You have to sign documents, and they don't want anything not licensed.
Right.
The funny thing about that is I could walk around that show and start pointing out the non-licensed stuff at every booth.
Yeah.
Free
It's like,
booth,
oh,
dude.
you have a Polish bootleg, not licensed. Oh, you have
Yeah.
a poster from this, not licensed. You have
See,
issue of Newsweek and Time magazine with Star Wars from 1978, not licensed.
if they
licensed.
really want to go hard on that, they should do like when like a counterfeiter gets busted and then works for the FBI. That would be like you.
They bring
going to work
that
for
in.
Star Wars.
Dude,
You're
I
like-
could walk
like,
around
this
that
is
show
unlicensed.
and show them
Yeah.
everything that's not licensed, but the licensing people don't even know. Like, I know someone who is selling like Adam Joseph buttons and keychains on Amazon, which is the company that made those little red cards for Return of the Jedi with all the
Mhm,
shrink wrapped buttons and pins and whatever.
Yeah.
And those got ended because some licensing person went on there and said that these were bootleg, and they don't even know.
Wow.
And they said their argument was that they never got paid for them. And it's like Adam Joseph went belly up and didn't pay the licensing fee, but they were still licensed.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't take it out on the retailer like we didn't get our cut. Like,
Right. Right.
and those lawyers who do that, when they sign those Vero notices, they are signing under penalty of perjury. And
Yeah.
there's actually this couple, I wish I could remember their name. It's a funny name, but they used to, if you had someone target you and end your get a Vero notice on eBay, you would send
Funny.
them the item and then they would list it and wait till it got ended, and then they would fight. And it was amazing because they won cases against Disney and NFL and like you name it.
Wow.
And so especially people who would buy like bolts of cloth, licensed bolts of like NFL cloth, and then sew a bear. Like it was totally okay to buy the licensed cloth, but as soon as you hand sew a bear out of it, boom, these people were getting their auctions ended. And the thing that those lawyers did not realize is they are asserting under penalty of perjury that they are allowed to end this auction. Now, if you perjure yourself as a lawyer, you can get disbarred. Your whole education, your whole job can go down the drain for hitting that button. And so this couple would go and Tabber One, I think was the name, something like that. We'll put it up here, but it's an amazing story to read. And they would just go to bat for the little guy, and they would show up in court, ask for a summary judgment, and they just nailed all these companies who were just being bullies and didn't want their stuff offered on eBay.
Yeah.
What's the company with UGG boots, like would just go around ending people's stuff because they thought that people should not be able to sell their stuff there because they weren't licensed to sell it. But if someone gives me a UGG boot for Christmas, I can go sell it if I want to. It's mine.
And you're gonna want to. With those boots. You're gonna want to sell those.
It goes with his Chewbacca outfit. So
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
But yeah, Star Wars Celebration was great, and I did not sell anything that was unlicensed. And,
Good man. Good man. I bought a Kenner 12-inch Stormtrooper from you.
That was a crazy show,
That's
man.
what I got.
Doug
was-
even bought a fully licensed Han Solo wig.
I went by the studio last week, or to the warehouse last week, and saw it in person. Oh man, it's even better looking in person than it is in
Oh
the
my
bag.
God, that's lovely. Look at
Dude.
that.
Flip that
I'm
triple
gonna-
around and show them
I
the. It's just.
I mean, every once in a while I get a collection, and there's just something so magical that, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to call Ruby's and see if I can place a wholesale order and buy 100 of these, because this is magic.
Like, don't bootleg your own Han Solo wigs. Like, 'cause as you can see, that they're going to be able to tell the difference in quality if you
Yeah,
bootleg.
exactly.
Ours
That's
will actually look like Han
probably
Solo's
good.
hair. Well,
Yeah.
that looks
so,
like something out of Zardoz.
so back to Tiny Ghost. Did they say anything to you about the similarities of, like, the eyes of Tiny Ghost to a Funko Pop?
No, the argument is, and I have to keep saying, like, nobody owns black round eyes.
Right,
Right.
of course. That's like when
Okay.
Amazon tried to what did they try to do? They tried to trademark a photo of a product on a white background.
Yeah, no, can't, no, like, that's not how it works.
We can go back to popsicle trucks for generations to find round black eyeballs and things.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I mean, nobody owns the black round
Of course.
eyeball, you know. I mean, it's, you know, Hello Kitty did it way back in the day. You know, we can trace this back to cartoon characters, you know, for a billion years, I'm sure. But like,
I'm not complaining. I just think I just wonder if they said anything.
well, they can't, and they know they can't. You know,
nice.
it's like, yeah, okay, Pops have round black eyes, but so does Snoopy, and so does,
Right.
you know, a lot of characters out there. There's a lot of vinyls and resins that people are making out there, and the black round eye works. It's a charming, evergreen, tried and true thing that collectors respond to. When you see those big black eyes, you just go, it looks like a baby squirrel that you just want to take it home and you want to raise it and feed it, you know, and that's what you want, right? You want people to look at your product and go, oh my God, look how cute he is. I just want to make him a little pillow and a little blanket and let him take a nap, right? Like, you want to love these things. You want to take care of these things. If you're dealing in cuteness, we can talk about the other end of the the mad ball end of the spectrum too. But yeah, at the end of the day, no, nobody, you know, Funko can't say squat about the eyes, because I was a creative director there. I worked there for 11 years in the art department. I know the difference in the eyes. If you want to get down to, like, well, these bulge out more, and the Funko Pop eyes are 10 millimeters and these are 12 millimeters, and they're a different distance apart. Like, I can get technical,
Right.
but I shouldn't have to with them. So I think they know there's no argument there.
Can you hold up
Nice.
the basic Ghost again real quick? Just the basic.
Yeah. Oh my God, look.
I just
black
want
round eyes.
I want to
I'm
point
ripping myself
out.
off.
I want to point out how much character you can get with so little form.
Yeah.
Like, look at
Thank
how
you,
much
man.
character this sculpt has.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
It's just eyes and two bubbles for arms, but
That's it, man.
it looks different from everything else. It's got
I'm sorry, my
character, it's
camera
got
is
feel.
doing this zooming thing. Isn't that so stupid?
You think I'm editing.
It's
now.
great. Every time you hold something close, it kind of zooms in. It's kind of
I know,
cool.
it's a little weird, isn't it?
It's as if you had, like, a camera operator there.
No, you're not. It's
It's like it's just the crane is gonna. It's just
yeah,
craning in.
Spielberg. I got Spielberg here on a crane, and he's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is going to be such a dramatic shot, Reis. Hold up that." No, but Janky, I appreciate you saying that, man, because, like, the reason I deliberately set out to make the simplest thing I could, right? Because I go back and I think of characters like Snoopy or Miffy, or Hello Kitty and stuff like that, and I kind of subscribe to the more you can break down something to its most basic parts, the greater of an audience that can identify with it, because we all want to see ourselves in things. but you can project anything onto this guy, including yourself, right? So I wanted to see how simple I could come up with something that's kind of cute and charming and have some personality. I did not sculpt this, by the way. Like a good friend of mine who's way better at sculpting did it in like 10 minutes. Because mine looked like shit. And she was like, come on, stop. And she like did it on her lunch break. But yeah, it's just like, but again, then now I'm a hypocrite because then I was like, well, it's too boring now. But I did this for like a long time.
Yeah,
like
the clock runs out on things after a while. It's just
I can only slap so many like I can only slap so many like bad prints on this and make it different.
I want to get away from the Funko stuff, but I just had another question.
Yeah,
so
me too.
What did you primarily do as creative director?
Well, once I started as a designer, and then I was lead designer. I worked my way up the ladder, but once I was the creative director, I kind of built and led several teams of concept artists, sculptors, packaging designers, and whatnot, by license. And we kind of tackled the product that way. So I would assign a lot of things out at that point. Once I became a creative director, the sad thing about it is like you're more of the conductor of the orchestra, and so you don't get to sit down in the pit and play viola with them anymore. But I tried to kind of keep my hands on design as often as possible, and but yeah, basically I just kind of led these teams based on licenses. We had a Star Wars team, we had a Marvel team, and then while I did that and made sure that the product remained consistent, but also took the necessary steps in evolution, because if your product doesn't evolve, you lose collectors, they get bored. So I had to kind of make sure that was going on. And then on the other end of it, it was also about maintaining a solid kind of trusting collaborative relationship with the licensor. So that was, that's when I had to, you put your business guy hat on. Sure. And so now you can see why I come home and I, sculpt, come up with stupid shit like this, because I have to.
Well, I mean, we talk about this kind of stuff on the show all the time because virtually everyone we have on the show is an artist. Mostly artists are watching the show, and it's sort of, the issue of finding balance. And that's something I think all artists need to do. And quite often when someone is working a day job, even if it's creative, they need to come home and do something to get everything out. And so it's really commendable that I love how you capitalized on the notoriety you got from Funko and created this own separate thing that people were just a fan of the form. But that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first one to admit that I definitely had a leg up because people kind of got to know who I was through there.
Why not?
I know. Well, some people kind of, call me a sellout or whatever. But
but those people can go fuck themselves because
that's how I feel.
It's an earned leg up. Nobody walked in and said, "I was born into this toy legacy."
Right.
You worked your ass off to get it.
I did, man.
What was that thing I saw on Instagram? It said you only get criticized. You don't get criticism from people who are like more accomplished than you. You only get criticized by people who are less accomplished.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You'll never be criticized by someone doing more than you.
More than you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Because they're secure. They're doing what they're doing, and it's like the haters that like, oh well,
they're too busy with their own stuff.
I don't need to pick on you. I got crap to do, man.
You can't control. It's a whole concept of luck. It's like that
one pisses me off too, though.
What's the dude, the producer, Every Kid Stays in the Picture, what's his name, that creepy ass dude, he wrote the book. But he said he produced like Godfather and all that stuff. What's it, Robert Evans? He said there's no such thing as luck. He said luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
Boom.
And so it's like you have an opportunity, but you were already prepared. You already had the skills and everything. If I go to the old lady standing on the corner and say, "Hey, would you like to buy 500,000 Star Wars toys for $1?" Like she'd say, like, "No, right? But if you have a warehouse and you have the cash, right? Like that's a great deal. You could turn those into $2, right? Like,
Yeah.
so that seems lucky for that person, but for someone out of context, it doesn't matter. So, and then we all just, for all of the random things that happen in life, like, you know, I always tell people, like, I know people who like feel guilty, like, oh, you know, I stumbled across this, and then, but they feel like they didn't work for it. It's like, fuck you, you worked for it. What are you talking about? You've been doing, you started in art school way back when you started drawing everything up until that point. I had another designer friend, you know, I would say like, how come you charge so much money? You did that thing in 10 minutes. He's like, well, it took me 20 years to be able to get it, to do that in 10 minutes.
You're paying for all the hours of learning,
just
experimenting, and developing, and
just because I can go in there and go do and make it and get it done and get it perfect, like, and someone else takes 2 weeks, like, this is how, you know. Anyway, I think.
Well, I also think I mean, I think you make a good point. It's and a lot of people don't really understand. You ate shit for like you said 20 years, and you worked your way slowly up a ladder, and you dealt with shitty bosses, and you dealt with good bosses, and you dealt with shitty coworkers, bad coworkers, and you kept going. And that's the part I also think is important. It's not just the time, but it's how you spent that time. And I felt that in my years in the business, early on, I went, well, fuck, I'm here. I'm at the bottom rung, but I'm here, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to the top rung, because this is the business I feel like I was meant to be in personally. So my brain's going to be a sponge, and I'm going to soak in every little bit of information and knowledge and experience and stuff that I can, and I'm going to properly categorize it in my brain so I can whip that shit out when I need to. And that's the preparation you're talking about. So I think that a lot of people don't quite understand that a lot of us artists had to fight really hard to become the artists that we are today.
Sure.
Only to be called a sellout immediately.
Yeah.
And then
as soon as you actually get paid.
Out, So,
I mean,
exactly.
the thing is,
push down for 20 years and persevere, and as soon as you get a little taste of success, you're a sellout.
Yeah, you fucking sellout. And I go, oh god damn it.
I mean, look, you were at the beginning of the show, you were a little self-deprecating about your role at Funko and like the opinion people have of Pops and stuff, and that's you can have your own feelings about that, but I don't think you should have I don't think you should have any feelings about the tiny ghost, except that this is something you created, and I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think.
No, don't get me wrong, man. It's like I'm very proud of what I did all those years at Funko. Like, I'm proud of the product. I know not everybody in the designer toy world likes it very much, but
that doesn't matter. I mean, it's like, what if you were you know, the creative person behind Beanie Babies? Like, it doesn't, like, people say, oh, Beanie Babies are shitty. Well, no, that is a pop culture phenomenon.
We're still talking about them. They're still making movies about them, you know?
And here's the thing, guys, like, I mean,
and Ty is still in business. It's a cultural phenomenon and everyone knows what they are, and it's part of your history. It's like, you know, we talked about, I don't know. I think you should be very proud of your accomplishments, I guess.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that, Doc. And I am, don't get me wrong, but like earlier, like before we started the show, I told you, like I do kind of feel like the nerd, uncool kid sitting at the cool kids table, because while I was working for the man, you know, I was watching you guys. You know, I'm watching what, you know, Barbarian Rage is doing, and I'm watching
making his editions of 20 pieces, you know.
but I'm watching him. I'm watching like Healy Made. I'm watching Hasbro Talent. I'm watching Sucklord. I'm watching all these people, and I think they're like the Led Zeppelin of the toy world. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm over here, and I'm kind of like a Creedence Clearwater Revival cover band, you know.
Because you're eating, because you're playing weddings, and we're like just hoping to get like 4 McNuggets worth of sales this week, you know.
4
my point was
McNuggets.
like I just and I felt like I tried to keep like a foot kind of a foot in both worlds a little bit.
But you did.
That's a tricky tightrope to walk.
And I'm gonna show you that because this is the first time I met you. I had no idea about the Funko stuff. I saw your stuff online, and this was
is that a yacht
2000
nib?
This is 2015 and 2016.
Nice.
The froglodyte. Planet yacht nib.
Yeah, the moon of Arctuine Ice Commando.
Arctuine.
I think I bought everything.
What year were these?
Did. That's how we met.
2015 and 2016.
Yeah.
So I was
What is this? This is the Black Ops Patrol droid. And so
Black
these
Ops.
are actual vintage figures that you painted. These were
that I
not
repainted.
Oh.
I like killed actual vintage. I was buying beater. Oh, vampire bear. That's a good one.
Ooh, that is a good. Yeah.
You can tell he's a vampire because I gave him sharp teeth.
It's that Funko design work right there.
Is the Galactic
Yeah.
Patrol droid. The Arbogastian Death Priest.
Yes.
See, this is what I love about repurposing so much. Like, this is why repurposing gets me so excited. It gets second life. We're getting this.
Let me.
This
The
one's my
moss
favorite,
bear.
Oh, the moss bear. Look, I glued a twig to his head.
though. It's amazing.
Genius.
What is this? RO128.
RO128.
There's the
Fun
Galactic.
fact, that's Reis O'Brien and my birthday.
I love it. There's no kid. It's just repainting. I mean, it's such a great.
But,
use
okay,
of
so
figures.
can I confess something here?
Sure.
So I'm sitting here. I'm this is still early in my career at Funko. But I'm on Instagram and I'm watching all these other guys make these cool figures that are Star Wars inspired. A lot of them I saw for the first time at your booth at New York Comic Con, and I went, holy shit, this is like a whole world of like these cool rock star dudes making these figures and shit. I thought they were all repainting vintage figures. I didn't know jack shit about making molds and any of that. I had no idea.
There are some that do that, but yeah, mostly there's obviously some direct casts. There's other people who are kit bashing, other people are sculpting from scratch.
But I mean, now we know like what the resin world can do and what these people are doing and shit like that. And I'm still catching up. I got to be honest with you. I just now got a pressure pot like a month ago. But
this plays so well into what you do with, because essentially with Funko, it's a blank, right? I mean, they're different forms, but you're starting with a blank.
Sure.
This is exactly that. You're using the figure as a blank and you're repainting it and recreating it. Like,
reimagining, trying to reimagine a little bit.
This was 2016. How many Death Troopers have there been in the past 8 years?
Yeah.
But when I made that, I thought I was incredibly original.
and it was.
And at the time,
it was.
Trendsetter.
And this
Oh my
one's
God,
my
look
favorite.
at that one.
Because this one's not even Star Wars.
No, it's the Battlestar Galactica. So I would go on eBay and I would type in like beater lot vintage action figure. And then all of a sudden I'd have like a bag of like 24 Ugnaughts or something or whatever. And I'd be like, well, all right, what am I going to do with these guys?
And the thing is, you couldn't even get these loose figures for often what you were selling these for back in the day.
What an idiot. Like, what is wrong with me? I like destroyed these beautiful vintage figures.
Like,
but
they're beaters. Everybody thinks they're all valuable, but they're not.
That is
They're
not my
beaters.
point. and then Scott will like his logo on the back, right?
That's the
Awesome.
That was a toy group I was in on Facebook called Lair of the Toy Beast, and that's the logo I made for him. It was War Duke, and he's got his fist crossed over him like this, and he's in one fist he's got a bunch of art supplies like sculpting tools and paintbrushes, and in his other fist he's got a wad of money because we can't stop making shit. We can't stop
That's
buying
what comes
shit.
from art is money.
Yeah.
Wow. So what's next? What's gonna happen now?
Well, I guess the big news is that I'm no longer unemployed.
Yay!
You don't get an air horn for that, but you do get a clap.
Yeah. Please put in a really great sound effect of Yeah, but I took a job. This was actually in the works for months. But there's a company called Handmade by Robots that are kind of starting to make their mark in the vinyl, licensed vinyl world, very similar to Funko. But also very different. That's why I liked it. But it has that flavor. I can kind of tell they're gonna rise up. And so we met with the team over there at Handmade by Robots, and my dog is barking. I apologize. So I took a job with them as their creative director now, because they're ready to kind of like, they've been around since like 2018. But they're just now like really starting to kind of rock it up in the collector world. And they were like, hey, we need someone to like be in charge of all this artwork and the look and the feel and the growth and the steps in evolution and everything. And I went, I'll do that. So I'm now a creative director over there at Handmade by Robots.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Actually, what I'm looking forward to is like, as you get burnt out on the job, the creative stuff that you do to stay sane on the side.
That's what happens.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
So I'm doing some. Oh wait, let me brag for a second. So while I was soul searching, I had to kind of keep myself busy. And I came up with this toy line called Backyard Battalion, and they're toy soldiers.
Those are so cool.
So good. Yeah.
Do you like it?
Super cool.
And they are, but they're instead of just, I collect toy soldiers. I'm kind of an old man nerdy that way too. But instead of like actual soldiers, they're little kids playing in their backyard. Seeing they have like pots for helmets, and they're throwing pine cones instead of grenades, like we used to do.
Sure.
So I released those this year. And I even made like the vinyl playmat of the backyard.
Playmat, yeah, so cool.
So I did that to kind of keep myself sane. Tiny Ghost is moving along nicely. I have a couple other future projects coming up just to keep my my brain sane and to keep my street cred, I guess. I'm really, you guys into muscle figures. I started making my own of those.
Whoa.
Wow,
Nice.
so cool.
These are called Knuckle. And this one's called the Turd because he's a turd.
Wow. I need all those.
And this is Snowman, which is a snowman with boobs. And this is obligatory cube guy because every muscle has an obligatory.
So funny.
So I'm working on those. I think you guys, at least Dov, my buddy JH over at Terrible Toy Works. And we're kind of teaming up. This is the prototype of an action figure I'm working on of one of my characters called the Cult Man.
Oh wow.
And I'm working on the vinyl cape right now.
Nice.
Very cool.
So this is what I'm trying to do, just to kind of keep sane. And I got a couple of art shows, custom shows I'm gonna do, because I just want to sit at the cool table with you guys.
Oh God, man, I can't believe how much stuff you put. I do one thing at a time, and it takes a really long time.
Really?
Yeah. You're like, I got this entire series of toys coming out. 2 entire series of toys. I remember seeing the Funko movie, and you're in that.
Yeah,
and
man.
I think like right after that, you made a resin 5.5 Baphomet. And I was like, this guy doesn't fuck around, man. Like the guy.
I don't know if it's that I don't fuck around. It's just I can't slow down. And do you, like, I'm sure you guys know, and you talk to a lot of artists, like I just have more ideas than I have time. And so a lot of times I just got to like get it out of my head and into the world, and then I can like let it go. Does that make sense? Or else it's just, or else I'm gonna sit there with a snowman with boobs on my brain for months, and I gotta make it.
46 years for me. Yeah.
I gotta get that shit out, and yeah, I'm glad you like that Baphomet. I did a whole line of
those are awesome, man.
It was called Lords of Abaddon, and they were all like, what if He-Man was like hella satanic? And
they were awesome.
And nobody liked them. No, they didn't sell for shit, but it's okay. and
it's always the one thing that you're super passionate about. Take the shit.
Yeah, just eat shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm over there like listening to like Slayer and Deicide and shit, and I'm making these stupid action figures. And actually, the Church of Satan got mad at me and yelled at me on Twitter about it. So I think
Really?
that's
Why?
achievement.
What did they
I
say?
don't know. They were like calling me a poser and all this shit, and I'm like, shut up. Like,
I don't know. I watched that movie and there was a couple posers.
yeah, so they got all pissed off. But yeah, I just try to stay busy.
So was the Funko Pop already a thing when you got hired at Funko?
Yeah. Pop had been around for only like a couple of years. And they won't tell you this in the documentary, but like when I signed on in 2012, they weren't really sure if Pop was gonna last, like if it was gonna take off or not. And we were already, I was brought on to help kind of think of new avenues instead of Pop. But like right when I got hired, not because of me by any means, but like right when I got hired, just out of like happenstance, I think it was like the Walking Dead ones and the Game of Thrones ones like just blew up in popularity.
Take the credit. Take the credit.
No, it definitely was not me, man. I had nothing to do with any of those. I totally rode those coattails for the next 11 years. But yeah, it was still, Pop existed, but it wasn't yet that big thing to
Huge explosion.
Is there any one person that's credited with creation of the Pop, or was it sort of a committee thing?
There is, but there's a debate. There's a couple of guys who have been at Funko since the very beginning. And it's a little bit of a debate with who came up with what first. And I'm not going to say which one I believe publicly, but I believe one over the other.
In 10 years, we'll get that document, like the He-Man documentary.
Oh, you'll
we'll
get the real documentary in 10 years. The one you saw, Scott, was real glossy.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah. Well, I actually own a Funko Pop now. I actually own 4 of
get
them.
the fuck out.
See them up here, and they're my favorite. And the reason
those are mine. I designed those.
Of course you did.
I designed those.
And it's not because it's Hammerhead. I don't want a Funko Pop of Hammerhead, but you did Kenner colors.
Yes.
And the Kenner colors are...
I got away with that by the skin of my teeth, dude. Like I wanted to do those, so I went ahead and sketched them up. Yeah. And we did a blue snags too. Do you have that one?
I didn't get that one because I didn't have a blue snag as a kid, so it never resonated. I mean, I have a blue snag, but a regular Kenner one. But
right.
What if you walk around the office here? It's really, when I have an artist like paint a painting of the Cantina aliens, I always make sure to tell them I don't want the
yeah, you don't want the accurate movie accurate.
I don't want a screen accurate version. What I have nostalgia for are these characters that I had as a kid. Best. And the reason I had those as a kid is because we could never find a Luke Skywalker or a Darth Vader.
Yeah. So Greedo's your hero in the main adventure.
In that outfit. Here's a painting I just got from Eric Joyner, someone I really wanted.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Is she the first person to do that? How is that the first time anyone did that?
I don't know.
He paints toys that are usually, tin robots and donuts.
He's done robots in the Nighthawk.
He did a Hopper painting previously, and when I proposed the idea of the Hopper painting with the Cantina aliens, he was really nonplussed about doing that motif again, but I persevered. And I did get a donut. Greedo is holding a donut.
Nice.
So,
I really love his work.
It's really important to me that they're in that outfit because that's just what I have nostalgia for. And
Same.
I don't have nostalgia for Greedo in the Greedo outfit, that I saw on screen for a minute, like, or Hammerhead for 10 seconds. Like it's the fun I had as a kid.
Toys.
Sure.
Well, it's because we furthered our adventures with them and they become our little friends, because they're there with us every day. Yeah. Where the movie was, especially back when we were kids, I'm probably older than all of you guys, but there was no VHS. There was no cable for a while for me.
You had to wait till it came on TV. I remember it came on Friday. It was a Friday night movie.
Or every couple months, one of the movie theaters in my area would do like a marathon where you'd go and like watch Star Wars, and they'd give you a cheeseburger, and then you'd watch Empire, and they'd give you another cheeseburger, and then you'd watch Jedi, and then you go home. That was like, that's how we saw them all,
That's great.
How old are you?
Dov, with those figures in particular, so I sketched them up and I sent them to my guy at Lucasfilm, who I'm very good friends with. He's a great dude. And he was like, dude, Hasbro's gonna lose their shit if we try to make these, because they own the rights to that look, you know, and everything. And he goes, well, let me go, I'll call you back, let me ask around. And I said, okay, all right, fine. And so he calls me back like the next day and he's like, all right, I think we're good to go. And I said, oh, okay, great. And then so we made them, and you know, months go by of production and they get out in stores and everything. And then I guess like somebody at Hasbro was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, those are our Kenner figures, man. Like, you can't do that shit. And so I guess, and then so I called him because I heard through the grapevine that Hasbro was pissed about him. And I was like, oh, Jesus, am I going to get sued? Am I going to get Funko sued? I was like really worried about that. Because I did that almost happened a couple times because that's my fault too. But but I went to him and he was just like, Reis, don't worry about it. I smoothed it over. We talked it out. In the end, they admitted it's a really cool like nostalgia play for collectors, and we're all good. I went, oh, Jesus Christ. But like, dude, I thought I was going to court against Hasbro on those.
Wow. So are these the only 4 Star Wars figures and the blue snaggletooth that have original Kenner colors?
There are drawings. I mean, I must have done 30 of them, but they got kiboshed. I mean, I even have like mock-up packaging that I did that looked like the old Kenner packaging with like the chrome bars and everything. And they were like, yeah, we were lucky we got away with what we got away with. Let's not push it.
The 2-1B is not too far off. I mean, that's
true, but then again,
but it doesn't have the clear, I guess. So that's
But the 2-1B is pretty close. I mean, these are
pretty screen accurate. Yeah.
This turquoise unitard or whatever this is called is, you know.
Yeah.
So, and the reason all the Star Wars pops are bobbleheads are to get around the Hasbro license, correct?
Yeah. What Funko had was the carve out for bobbleheads in the contract. So that's why they absolutely had to bobble and be permanently glued to a base.
Got it. And so all of the Star Wars pops are bobbleheads.
Correct.
Are there any other licenses that are like that, or it's just Star Wars?
Marvel also has to bobble.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if that's changed in the year since I've been gone, but when I was there, and I was the creative director for both Marvel and Star Wars, so yeah, they all had to bobble.
Wow. And so, and by the way, how old are you?
I'm 51. I was born in 72.
Wow. You got me beat by your.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you I'm the oldest, man. I'm the fucking oldest. I was 4 years old when Star Wars came out in the theater.
Amazing. I guess the last question is, and I guess the thing, when you mentioned about Funko, when you came in there, you're working on other projects. Is it accurate that like Funko kept trying to repeat the same formula over and over again, and it never worked except for Pops? Because I saw them trying to make Pops that were bigger, and that didn't work. And I saw them trying to do T-shirts, and that didn't work. And then I saw them trying to do plush, and that didn't work. And then I saw them trying to do the same thing with Playmobil, and then the Dorbs. And it was like they were just trying over and over. And there's something that they just hit on with Pops that captured the imagination.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they're not going anywhere, right? Are they really? Are they that in that?
I mean, that's a matter of opinion at this point, but whether or not it goes in, if they go away or not, I don't know. You know, what's probably going to happen is that it'll probably go the way of Beanie Babies. Like Beanie Babies actually never went away. They've been selling Beanie Babies this whole time. It just, the craze calms down.
Sure. I mean, yeah, Ty has been making plush ever since.
Yeah, they haven't stopped. Like Ty's still making a lot of money off of plush, but this, you know, it's just.
Well, when he got out of jail.
Yeah, you know, the speculation.
We're back, baby.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think like you know, when I was there, I mean, Pops were kind of just this magical formula that honestly at first we weren't sure why it was working. And then we kind of we wrapped our heads around it as time went on. So you knew what you could get away with and what you couldn't get away with without like kind of pissing off the collectors or making them go, wait, that's not pop, you know? So we found its sweet spot. But I think the thing is that there was two things going on when I was there. One was a conscious effort not only rely on pops for the future of this company.
Well, of course, that's what everybody wants, but I don't think it ever worked, right?
Well, yeah, we tried many different things. We tried Dorbs, we tried Hikari, we tried Hikari's a different story. We tried other things within the same price point, same charm level, same licenses, things like that, because we were worried that you're going to want something to kind of fall back on.
Sure.
You know, at some point, if the pop bubble ever popped. God, that was terrible. I'm sorry. But
yeah.
So, and then the other thing is that we always kind of tried to shoot for other product that didn't necessarily sit in the same place as a $9.99 licensed collectible. Like, so we tried things like Hikari, we tried things like Vinyl Idols, we tried other higher end collectibles and things like that. And what would happen was that the higher ups, I won't say names, but the people that drove Teslas to work would kind of go, okay, we're going to keep this small and it's going to be higher price point, but we're going to keep it like really high quality. And we're going to keep the numbers really low. The LEs are going to be really low because we need like a higher level kind of classy thing. And we'd go, great, as designers. We'd go, that's awesome. And then within a few months, they would be like, no, guys, they need to be $9.99. And they in Walmart, it would go, no, that's not remember what you said a few months ago. So there was a couple of things going on there. Like, we were trying to come up with other things that could be like pop, and we were trying to come up with things that were not like pop, but always ended up kind of being like that. And none of them were as successful, you know, for whatever reason.
There's a couple spaces that they moved into, though, that were interestingly worked well. Like board games, surprisingly, became an area that I think, because they're putting out some games that were actually good. Like, there's games that were really good.
But what happened was they bought a really good board game company.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Like, they were already good.
Right, got it. They're the blob.
That is legally my personal opinion.
Right. But I did get the Garbage Pail Kid minis, and those.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Those were great.
Thank you.
They were great sculpts. They didn't look like pops. And
they were different.
And the last thing here is, like, what's up with Greedo's eyes? Why are they blue?
I had an art director back then that made me do things I didn't want to do sometimes.
What kind of things?
And for the record, I drive a Tesla to work, but anyway.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, now you're a snooty son of a bitch.
Fucking asshole.
I meant Teslas when they first came out. You know, they were like $100,000, and only a few people had them.
Yeah. Well, now they're 2 million, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I saw one of those things the other day. Did you see him? The truck?
Yeah, there was one driving around my neighborhood the other day.
The $2 million truck. It looks like it's out of like one of those bad science fiction movies, like with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone. Like,
they look like that.
I think you're talking about good science fiction movies.
It's like the last Starfighter car that, like, what's his face pulls up in and makes
it's like what someone thought a futuristic car would look like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That episode of The Simpsons,
and now
where
it's
Homer
20 years later. It's the future.
Oh shit! It came true. It's manifest destiny.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
On sale now.
We've got a couple things here that are on the site right now that I want to show off. And this was all I can officially say is there was a deal, I assume, gone bad.
Yeah.
And it says limited to 1,500. Well, due to what I assume is a deal gone bad, I acquired all 1,500 packs. And these are on the site as we speak.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Wow.
I think that's Joe Simcoe art.
Really? He's legit. He's old school, man.
Oh yeah, man.
That looks Joe Simcoe to me.
Yeah.
I guess I should go verify that, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think they're $15 a pack, 2 for 25, or quantity of 10 or more, they're $12, and they're on the site right now.
Beautiful.
I don't know how they're gonna do. I was happy to help the person I bought them from, who, you know,
Had to unload them quickly
for whatever reason, but they're on the site now.
Will you show Dove? Will you show the toothless card again? So that one didn't get. Because talk about a mashup that was just dying to happen. I mean, that's like, how have we not had this collaboration already with those two characters?
I know. Why didn't we have that when I was like 12, like 11 years old? Like, I would have eaten that up.
I mean, it's a fantastic mashup. From two different companies who both had to agree. I think it was Ira Friedman who put it together. It was Topps, and I forget who.
I worked with Ira when I did the GPK mystery minis at Funko, and the Topps guys are so much fun to work with. Ira's a great guy.
And I think if this wasn't his brainchild, he certainly, got everybody on board.
That's great.
Who owns Mad Balls? That's American Greetings or something.
American
like
Greetings, yeah.
Yes. So it was sort of like a double license, and then there was a comic book and toys, and it was just pretty awesome.
Those are super cool.
So another project I was involved in, and this took I don't know why it took 10 years to get this done, but I was part of the Art Hustle, which were these card sets that came out in, I don't even remember anymore.
2010, I think, was the first
2010.
one.
So maybe 5, 6, 8 years ago, there was a factory set for Series 1. So you could get that. But finally, what just showed up was the factory set for Series 2 and Series 3.
Nice.
Wow.
So these are on the site now. 2 and 3 are for sale separately. We don't have that many ones left, so they're only for sale when you buy all 3. But it was a fantastic set. There was nothing really like it at the time. Every artist in the set has 2 cards. They have I'll just find one to show you here. There's here's Eric Joyner, right? So everyone has sort of like a portrait card.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then they have a card that they sent in.
Oh my god,
that's so cool.
So here's like Simone, and then it's Tokidoki, and then one of his paintings. And it sort of runs the gamut of people involved in the toy scene. There's graffiti artists, there's street artists. Like here's David Gonzalez. He's the creator of Homies.
Oh
wow.
Here's a David Healy card. So we managed to get some of those in. And this was really the brainchild of Simeon Lippman, who's a friend of mine, and it was Tom from Sidekick who did the printing, and I basically financed it and corralled all the artists that I knew. And it was really, really a lot of fun. And then there was autographs of all of these people in, and then everyone did sketch cards. So there's just sketch cards. We even got people in there like Chip Kidd. Who's Chip Kidd's one of my favorite designers. I got here's Jason Franey.
These are all Series 3, right?
These are all Series 3. Winston Smith, one of my favorite collage artists who did Dead Kennedy's logo and all that kind of stuff. And here's Anthony Lister, who's been Me Too'd since then. Or whatever's going on. But my favorite card in the set is of course by Johnny Ryan. And
no.
What happened was they went to print this at the printer, and the printer called Tom and said, we're refusing to print these. And so they had to remove the card from the sheet, and Tom had to print these himself. And it was how am I doing this? It's called
I think
it's called 6911. On the back it says never forget.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I think that's what happened to Frank Zappa.
Sure.
that where they refused to print the record because the person who was pressing the record objected to the lyrics.
Huh.
I mean, that happened to me when I was in film school. I made this thing called Night of the Red Devil, and I took it to be my Super 8 film to be transferred. And then the people were like, I'm sorry, this deals with the occult. Like, we can't transfer this. I'm like,
transferred in Alabama? Where were you?
Yeah, I was like, where were you, man?
The place off of Hollywood Boulevard.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, the 8mm place over there.
And so I called the guy and I'm like, what do you mean the occult? He's like, well, it has this devil creature in it. I'm like, I said,
Yeah.
So what I said to him, I pulled out all the stops here. I was like, do you read the Bible? And he's like, yes, I do. I said, is the devil in the Bible? He's like, yes. I said, is the Bible a work of the occult? He's like, no. I'm like, so why does the presence of a devil make it the work of the occult? The devil is the bad guy in the movie. He gets his comeuppance in the end. That wasn't actually true, but he's whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, and then he was like, okay. And then he transferred the film.
Oh my God.
I got everything done on time, but that was
you couldn't talk your way out of the Johnny Ryan.
It wasn't my job to do that, and luckily Tom could take the card and print it, himself. Like, I guess what I don't have is I have some uncut sheets of this. I don't have a solid uncut sheet of Johnny Ryan cards. I wonder if that exists. I'm gonna have to make a call.
Well, somebody's gonna find it in their flea market haul,
right? Exactly.
And Scott's gonna see it and offer him $300. So.
Now it's time for What Did Dove Buy? Hey, dude, what'd you get?
I haven't picked up too many toys since last time, but I did get Boba Tech here by Barrio Boba, which I thought was
that's
cool. Nice.
Really excellent.
That's really badass
interpretation. Because we do a Boba Fett show, and we're working on the second one where all we do is how many did we show last time? We just showed 20 or 25 just Boba Fett references, and they get so ridiculous. So but I was at LA Comic-Con, and it's so rare when I'm walking around I've talked before about Artist Alley is very uncomfortable. There's all these creators and you try not to make eye contact because they're like, hey, you want to see, it's like you try to keep your blinders on and try to, it's like, hi, you want to read my comic book? And it's like, no.
It's about me as an assassin.
Do you like comics about beavers?
Because this is a beaver assassin.
Yeah. Right. What about my face?
But I walked by and I saw this comic, and immediately, because I'm a nostalgia whore, it's called Chaotic Neutral. It's by Mark Sable and Chris Anderson.
Oh, I love those guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just started to look at it, and he said, that's what this story is, what D&D would have been like if all those parents were right.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, so there's devil worship and Satans with big dicks and goat fucking and murder and just crazy shit. And it's I was like, wow, that's amazing. I have to buy that.
Wow.
I've worked with both of them back in my comics days, 12 years ago, and they're both amazing. Chris was actually sort of just starting to draw around that point, and I love both of those guys. That's awesome that you picked that up.
And then in the back of the comic. In the back of the comic is a module, so you can actually play the comic book in the back. I won't show you the big dicks being chopped off the devil, and but
trust me.
There's the whole you can actually play the comic in the back.
You got to roll for Dick Initiative.
Wow, that's really cool.
And it came with all the play pieces.
Oh, neat.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love both.
Yeah, Scott, that seems like something up your alley, man. Your world.
But then as I wandered to that was at Mark Sable's table, but at Chris Anderson's table, he had two zines. one called Not Man, Not Beast, but Moss. And this one was called Stench of the Sea. And each of these this is an explanation of why Beast Man and Moss Man are the same sculpt.
Oh.
And it's
And
the
other
whole
one is
story is
Stinkor and Merman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
I
That's
thought
great.
that was like the whole premise is just based on like, Mattel being cheap.
Yeah.
I just thought, wow, okay. These are zines for me.
I can tell you from experience, you gotta amortize that mold cost.
Hell yeah.
There's He-Man and Faker.
And then the last thing I picked up is from
That's the obvious one.
A place called Trident Studios, and these were on Etsy, and they reprinted a comic book or a little trade paperback, the unofficial Marvel comic Hostess ads.
Oh,
I've heard about this. I went to the guy's website. Yeah.
Every page is a Hostess ad from
my God,
one of the Marvel comics.
I need these.
I read these these were like, it's just, it's like Captain America like shooting fruit pies at people.
Yeah. Go to their website, because I looked around and I ended up going a little crazy, but I think he's got like a decent. Oh, you're holding it. Jesus Christ. Never mind.
Hostess ads, featuring Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Elmer Fudd, Tweety and Sylvester, Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote. Oh, I guess there weren't enough DC ads, so he had to add some at the end. But just amazing, like Batman, fighting crime against the Joker, who wants to throw
with an apple pie.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought like this.
I love that there's these people out there kind of archiving this stuff for us. I'll get nostalgic about something, and then if you a quick Google and you'll go, oh, there's a guy who's wrote an entire book on it with full color pictures and everything, and now it's in my collection, so I don't have to actually go collect it. I can just have the book.
Totally. All right, Reis, where can people reach you? How do they find your stuff that you're selling?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Reis O'Brien, ReisobRien. Also on Twitter at Reis O'Brien. Same spelling. That'd be dumb if I changed it. And then
or genius.
And you can find Tiny Ghost over we work with fugitivetoys.com. They're our partners, and they kind of sell and ship all that stuff for us. And please go to backyardbattalion.com.
Yeah.
You need some toy soldiers in your life.
Dude, I totally need those. Wait, was it me, or did I see a Tiny Ghost with a McDonald's colorway?
You did. I did a 3-pack.
You did a 3-pack.
I did oh, you know what? I drew a Ronald McDonald one just recently, like hand painted. But I also did a 3-pack that looks like a cheeseburger, a bunch of fries, and a drink.
Wow. I want the Ronald McDonald. You see this?
I do see that. I'm sorry. I already gave it. Was a giveaway, and I already gave it.
Motherfucker. You're on my shit list now. So
I made fun of your car, and now
the
green eyes, the car.
You're cut from the roster. Last time you'll be on this show.
Dude, I'll tell you,
good day.
I said good day. See, I told you I'm the nerdy kid at the cool table, and I fucked it up.
So, but wait, the Ronald was only a one of a kind? It's not a production?
Yeah, I painted. I just grabbed some Posca markers. And
oh, got it. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry.
All right, Janky, before we go, you said you had some business to cover?
Yeah, we got a little fan art here.
Fan art. Also known as fart.
Yes, we got a big load of fart here to show off. Our good friend Mr. Ross Blair reached out to me and
just
said,
for the record, Ross Blair, #1 fan of the show.
Yeah, and not to. There's other people that claim they want to be. We appreciate everybody, but nobody else has done this.
Holy shit!
So Ross Blair has commissioned. Wow. A whole series
oh my god
of DKE Toys TV action figures.
That is rad.
And of course, no set is complete without our good friend Ian, the
they
beard.
made one
Oh
for
my
Ian.
god.
That's
Are you
amazing.
serious?
What's the logo on mine?
Oh, your logo is Stay Fresh Cheese Bags.
Okay, cool.
And in fact, you can't really tell here, but look very closely at the picture of you. You are holding cheese bags.
That's actually cropped from my Instagram, but yeah.
Wait, the figure is holding a cheese
The
bag?
figure is holding a pack of cheese bags.
Oh, no shit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
awesome.
great.
That's
But,
amazing.
yeah, these are pretty badass. Like nothing makes me want to get to the gym faster than looking like Bluto. But I like the colors, the details. These are great. So these were done by an artist named Jim Heston, who also goes by, I'm going to screw this up, Plisnithus7.
Sure. I have lots of
the-
his work.
It will be below us. Yeah, they said that you were aware of him.
He's great.
So,
Fantastic.
That's
How
amazing.
do we buy these things?
I don't know. He didn't tell me that.
Okay.
He
Because
just said, "Hey, look, here's some awesome things that he and
Just get
Jim
Scott to
do."
make him a war duke. He's making him to pay for everything.
There you
That's
go.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll trade
Plus
figures
one
for
out,
orders.
man.
that's
Jim and
amazing.
Ross, if you're
Well,
down,
Ross and Jim, thank you so much. Those are awesome.
That's amazing.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah. Can't believe it.
I
Really.
think as a toy maker, there is no higher compliment than to have somebody
Then
use
have
their
them do
talent
it.
to make a toy in your likeness. So
Right.
Pretty
a toy
rad.
portrait.
yeah,
I have one that Buzzard Guts made of me.
Get out. Really?
I love Buzzard Guts. I got a few of their pieces, man.
Yeah. It's
I like to laugh. That's amazing.
Is that a Doc Ock head?
yeah, it's a Doc Ock.
oh my
head.
god, that Doc
the-
Ock is perfect.
Full
This
haircut.
is like
is
on a Fisher Price Adventure People nurse
It
or
is,
something like
yeah.
unbelievable.
Oh, pretty amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
So on
Well,
that note,
thank you, Ross, and thank you, Jim. That was pretty
definitely
incredible. So
Wow,
Very-
yeah, that
we
is
appreciate you.
that's
really
fantastic.
amazing. Scott, you got anything to close with?
Yeah, go to my website, Barbarian Rage. Go see what's there. That's it. Thank you.
Wow.
BarbarianRage.com.
You got
All right,
leftovers from
everybody.
Zolocon? Is that you get?
I got this from Zolocon.
Oh,
Nice.
This giant Mexican bootleg death lore.
Whoa.
That dude, the Path group,
Wow.
gave this to me.
Holy
How
shit!
rad is that, right?
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, awesome. And then I got this from Barbarian Brothers Toys. It's Chris Facone.
His stuff's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
his stuff's
fantastic
killer.
artist. And then this is a sculpt.
Oh, that's badass.
That's amazing.
Sculpt by Barely Human.
Really human. Yeah.
Mm.
Did it, yeah.
Nice.
And a couple other small things, but this was,
The score.
yeah.
Dude,
this
that
was
is
amazing.
chef's kiss right there. That's
That is. That's amazing.
God.
Do you have
Very rad,
leftovers
right?
from the show on your site, Scott? Or did you sell out?
I sold a lot of stuff. That's what I said. Just go to my website. Go
There's
see
some stuff
what's there. There's new stuff all the time.
All right.
Please
know,
buy our
right.
stuff. Everyone.
Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah, there you go. Please.
I mean, like at the end of the day, we're artists. We're hungry.
Yeah.
Buy our stuff. Toy soldiers. Look, it comes with a German Shepherd. That's Battalion.com. Talk. What do I gotta do?
Amazing. All right. Check out the last interview we posted of Maggitarius. I think there's only like 10 pandemic interviews that are still waiting to get edited. So
That Maggitarius interview is
Very-
awesome too.
yeah,
The
they
two
are
of them
just
together.
sweetest
so good.
people in the world. If you
Amazing.
place an
Yes.
order online, you put DKE Toys TV in the notes section, we will give you a free invisible Sucklord piece right here, a $20 value. One per household. Follow us on IG at DKE Toys. Subscribe on YouTube at DKE Toys. If you like us, leave us a good Google review. If you don't. If you want to reach Janky, DKE Toys TV at gmail.com. You want to reach me, DKE Toys at gmail.com. And that is it. Thank you, Reis. We really appreciate you coming.
Oh,
on.
thank you for having me, guys.
Taking all
I
the time.
appreciate it.
It's really an honor.
It was
and,
awesome, man.
I'm the honored one here, man. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. All right,
Look
guys.
at this
Take
love
care.
fest.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Hey! Oh no, Reese missed it.
Ah.